Buddy, weekly Q&A. I know most of you guys are gonna catch the replay of this since it's wee hours of the morning for most of you guys in North America. We're here in in Europe and going live. Just a quick announcement, by the way. I will post a link after this, but I'm doing a really awesome virtual summit um, called the Inbox Summit, and I'll it's totally free to attend, by the way, which is pretty cool for virtual summits. It's one of the things that's changed in this new world. So what I'm going to be talking about is something I don't really talk about a whole lot, but it's really cool, which is being able to close sales in your agency straight through email. What's up, Arno? I should say bonjour, mon ami. Uh, Mon français est terrible. Um, yeah, that's 9 years of Canadian school French, and I still can't say shit. Um, so if you guys are interested in learning how we do that, how we actually close our agency clients without getting on the phone, I've got an hour and 20-minute training. It's kind of on the long side, but it's really, really good. And so I'll post a link if you guys want to check that out. Let's do it. So, questions this week. Arno, you're actually first. I've got hello. I really love the partnership idea and I have a few questions. Maybe some of you have the same. Let's imagine I found a potential client. I think it's a good fit and I proposed to him 2 weeks to see if I can bring him some results. Should I use the past client list at this stage? So there's kind of a deeper philosophy in here, Arno, and I'm going to kind of dive into this a little bit. The biggest fear that we all have going into this is you're going to do some work for a client and not get paid. And in actuality, that's rarely ever the case. It's really, really weird, but I've never, or I should say, rarely have clients, if ever, really, I can't even think of a situation where they don't pay. The much bigger issue is a couple of things. One is that they pay too slowly, and it just doesn't work for you because you don't want to hound clients for money. Like I fucking hate hounding clients for money. So usually you can address most of that up front. But there's a bigger, deeper thing here, and I can illustrate it this way with one of the members in the group named Dan, who's actually doing this business model with roofers. It's the idea of flow, and one of the things that we always try and do is like when you get into this marketing stuff, there's this idea that you want to like save a business and do something amazing for them and kind of like raise them up. And it's a really honest and great idea, but rarely does it work like that in practice. And so what we often try to do is we take a business with no flow, like they have no leads, they have no incoming, and we try and create flow. And what's much better in my experience is rather than trying to take a business that has no flow and create it, is finding the flow that's already moving and how can we add to that flow rather than trying to make it from nothing, because it's way easier. And so to give you an example, using Dan's actual experience with roofers, and we had partnered back in the day with some roofers, and I can actually remember we got a roofer named Eddie, and I think we ran some Craigslist ads to get him a few leads. And I still remember this phone call because we have the recording of it. And the phone rang, and the ad said something like 5-star roofing, and his wife answered the phone and said, "Hello." And you could just hear like not happiness or unhappy state to answer the phone. And then she went, "Hello." And then the guy's like, "Yeah, is this 5-star roofing?" So she put down, "Yeah, this is roofing." 1 second. She put down the phone. And she went, "Eddie, come answer the fucking phone." And they proceeded to argue for like 3 or 4 minutes. And they were like, just like bitching at each other. And then eventually, like, I don't know, like 7 minutes later or something, Eddie gets on the phone and he goes, "Yeah, this is Eddie." And the guy's like still confused. He waited the whole time and said, "Yeah, is this 5-star roofing?" And the guy said, "Oh, you need a roof?" And no surprise to any of us that Eddie didn't get that roofing job and there was no money to pay us. But when you look at it, Eddie's business really had no flow. Like he didn't know how to handle phone calls. He didn't know how to close. There's no leads coming in. So you're trying to, like, in Eddie's business, build it from the ground up. And what'll save you a lot of headaches with all of this is just dealing with businesses that are real businesses and have infrastructure. So Dan's working with like one roofing company that's like I think doing 8 figures, and they got like, I don't know, 10, 20 locations around the country, and they have a whole team, and they have a staff, and they have a phone company, and they show up in a dress shirt to your appointment, and they have a paperwork and a process and team and salespeople. It's a lot easier to add to that flow than it is to try and build Eddie's business. So I would say 95% of the headaches, if you want to do like a beyond agency and you're interested in that, like getting paid on your revenue share, it just don't work with people who don't have real businesses. Another issue that even though we think it'll be like that we won't get paid, another thing that comes up is sometimes they'll have just really like they'll have flow, but they'll have burned people, like this churn and burn mentality. So like let's say you use the past customer list, and the first thing the customers say is, fuck you, give me my refund back, right? Like, where's my refund, asshole? Like, you're not really going to be able to make a percentage for that no matter what you do. So much of the success is the relationship they already have. And then when you say, should you use the customer list? What I like to look at, and you can definitely use the customer list, is where is that flow and what's the easiest place to add to it. And I think about like the stuff that's almost like 90 to 95% of the way sold. Maybe people who already called them on the phone or already bought for them, or people that are already visiting their website that we could retarget or things like that. I don't try and convince strangers ever when you're trying to get a percentage deal, especially in the beginning when you only have like a week or two to prove it. So you can definitely use the customer list. That's the best thing. The next best thing is that they have sales coming in, is like there's almost always an opportunity for some kind of upsell or value add in that process, depending on what they're doing. So those are the things that I would look at first. And if you do those things, it won't really be an issue of not getting paid. It'll be more an issue of choosing the right businesses that A, have the flow, and B, like actually take care of their people. But if you focus on those two things, they're really easy to like get like $10,000 for one client, because it's very, very easy to add to existing flow. Where it's really hard and where most agencies struggle is they're trying to build Eddie's business instead of, and I don't know the other guys, Dan's other guy's business, but you don't need to build his business. You just need to add a little bit, and it immediately takes off because he has all the other working pieces. So the more working pieces that they bring, the better. So that's the best explanation I can give you. If you have any follow-up questions, you can shoot me a PM on that. Okay, Savina asks, hey everyone, I will be running Facebook ads for a client selling a course on how to start a successful blog. Can anyone please guide me with targeting any particular Facebook page or detailed targeting? Savina. Savina, I do have a shortcut for any of you guys who are interested on targeting. It's not like something I normally share personally. This is just kind of in my own little vault. But the first thing I look for is who are the gurus in that space. That's the easiest way. What are the associations and events? What are the software they buy? When you can answer those questions, the targeting gets easiest. But I would tell you the easiest one to start with. If you're trying to start people who are trying to start a blog, find the other gurus who teach how to start a blog and target their people. And more than likely, if you have something new and interesting to say in your offer, those people will hear it. So that's the simplest way you can do that. But if any of you guys are interested in getting my kind of targeting process, there's 7 things that I work through from start to finish that just help me like simplify the targeting on Facebook in particular. That'll probably help you do that. I'm happy to share that. Okay, Azini. Hello guys, I've heard a lot of agency owners saying LinkedIn is very effective in particular in getting clients for their agency. So I was just curious on how they are doing it, because I tried many strategies on LinkedIn, but it's only failing. It has made me to realize that there is either something I'm not doing or something I'm doing wrong. Yeah, Azini, you'll probably hear me say this once or twice, but more than likely it's your offer. And there's usually 2 things I see wrong with these kind of offers. One is that it's not like specific enough. So like you just say like, I can help a business owner increase profits 20%. That's like really generic. Business owners, like I'm a business owner and I don't think you're talking to me, right? That's very different than if I had an offer that, like said, 14 other dentists have used this system to get, $80,000 per month in dental implants on average for $623 per lead on Facebook, and every 40th lead converts. Are you interested in hearing more about how it works, right? So the specifics are one of the reasons. And the other is it just sounds like everything else. And so part of the half the battle is making your stuff stand out. So it may help you to actually join one of the groups that your people are in and just see what everybody else is saying and then choose to intentionally be different. But it's your offer, bro. It's definitely your offer. Um, yeah, and Arnaud says you can use the customized voice recording. That is probably a great idea, Arnaud, and I've not done that. Um, Tony, is it possible to target group members in Facebook ads? E.g., if you're promoting a mortgage offer, can you ask the Facebook ad setup to target members of the property groups? Best way to do that, just create a little landing page and then tell people to click over and put some tracking code on there. I don't know if there's a simple, straightforward way. There's people in this group, David Schloss and Peter Sabo, who would know much better than I would. But that's how I've always done it, is just put it on a landing page, have them click over, and then you can use that and you can create lookalike audiences and so forth. Christian, what are you guys using to generate quiz forms that qualify your leads? Christian, honestly, I have no idea about quiz forms. I've never actually really used them to any great extent. But I will say the qualifying your leads has more to do with what you offer and how you offer it. So like, in really every market, we tend to think that all the people are the same. But like just I mentioned the dentist, if I'm trying to get a patient to come in for your standard checkup, then I have an offer for a checkup, right? But if I want to get something for dental implants, then I'll speak to the issues of people who want cosmetic teeth, right? So whatever offer you put out there kind of determines who's going to come through. Oh, and Arnaud says type form is good. Yeah, so there's another one for you. But I don't have much to tell you on quiz forms, but I do have a lot to tell you on qualifying leads if you're interested in that. Romario. Oh, sorry, this isn't Romario. I have the wrong name. Clicks without calls is the main reason. I added negative keywords. CPC is growing, but still just have a few calls. Where should I focus on? Still keywords or something else? Well, this is kind of a deeper philosophical discussion we're in today because you're trying to create flow out of nothing, which is, by the way, very hard work. But let's say you want to do that. If you're getting clicks and people are coming over, usually people always want to blame the targeting. It's very rarely, in my experience, the targeting, especially if you're doing local stuff, because local keywords tend to be really targeted buyer keywords to begin with. It usually just means whatever you're saying on your landing page and your offer is shit. And if you fix that, it'll go over. But if you're new at this, which it kind of sounds like you are, be careful that you don't like get 6 clicks and then think, oh, nobody's bought. Like you have to have realistic numbers. Typically in every offline space, and obviously it varies from niche to niche, 4 to 5% conversion into actual sales is pretty typical, which means you get 100 clicks, you're going to get 4 or 5 buyers out of that. So you have to know that before you like think your numbers are off because you had 7 clicks. So it'll help in the future if you post your numbers. Sorry, this is actually Romario. Best landing page design software. Honestly, the best landing pages I've ever created are handmade. That doesn't mean like I host them online in a notepad, but coming up with what to say in the hook, the simpler the landing page, the better it works in my experience. And what most people do is they get way caught up in trying to make it look pretty and graphics and things like, nobody ever went to a landing page and went, oh, that's a terrible offer, but man, their logo is so pretty, I'm going to sign up anyway. Right? So get the main thing right, and what you'll find is you can make really fucking ugly landing pages that work. Now, I personally use lead pages. I've used ClickFunnels. I've used a few WordPress plugins. I've done them handmade. What I like about lead pages, it's the simplest just to make something in 5 seconds. And if you value speed and time, then it's the best solution, in my opinion. That may not be what you're trying to do with it. If you're trying to set up more complex funnels, then I've had the best success with ClickFunnels, although I'm not a huge fan of ClickFunnels, but it definitely does that job at least better than anyone else. And then if you're working with local landing pages for your clients, I found Unbounce to be the best solution. They're kind of just best set up for like lead capture. But don't make it about the software because it's not really about the software. The best software, in my opinion, is whatever can help you the fastest for the least amount of money, which in my case is lead pages. Last one for today. Philip, to everyone else, what payment processor do you recommend? P.S. I currently use Stripe, but I'm open to other options. Philip, we also use Stripe combined with Zoho payments. It's like an add-on for Stripe that you can get the first couple of people for free. Um, I've also used PayPal. It's simple. Depends where you're at with your agency. If you're doing big numbers and like the transaction fees are taking a big chunk of your money, which they can, then you probably want to look at something like authorize.net. But if you're in the beginning stages, most people get caught trying to like save $50 when they should be using that time to, um, get somebody who's worth some money to sign up for them, work on their offer, put themselves out there, get into conversation, and do things that actually make money. So if you do that, I find the payment processors are less of an issue. But having said that, if you're doing volume where it actually matters, I've heard the best solution to be authorized. I've always just stuck with Stripe and PayPal, and I get dinged higher fees than everyone else. But for me, I just like the simplicity of just like being able to put shit out there and then to move on with it. That to me is worth a 2% fee, even though they do kind of like rape you, for lack of a better term. So there we go. We had some rape tops. So that's all I got for you guys. If you missed the beginning and you just caught in halfway, I'm going to put a link below. I'm going to edit this in just a minute for the Inbox Summit, where I'm talking about closing clients, like entirely through email. So if you have to like do phone calls and a lot of convincing and proposals and all that shit, I don't do any of that stuff. And I don't think you guys want to either. I'll show you how to do it just like through email, making your offer, what it needs to be, and on point. And then what you'll find is, you can close people just like that. So, and I'm not saying you should never get on the phone with your clients, by the way. I do get on the phone with my clients, but not to chase them for like, hey, can we do business together? So I think you guys will really, really dig that. So it's totally free. So I'm going to post a link. That's all I got for this week. So I'm going to say goodbye, amazing people, and I'll see you again next week.